Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I'm the Couch Warrior, and you are watching The Passage, a Skyrim SE Let's Play featuring Ettient Jorel, the Altmer Ranger. When we last left off, Garm had arrived back at the fishing shack with a letter tucked in her collar. This is a brief note from cway, and it reads, "Brother, I'm worried. The news hit the lodge shortly after your message arrived. The place was buzzing with theories. I'm not sure what you did at the keep, but Maven's people are not just talking about the Thalmor, as I have heard at least 3 competing theories on what may have happened. I gave special attention to your Thalmor theory, and hear mentioned of another similar abduction in Whiterun with possible Thalmor connections. Supposedly, a man named Thonar was taken several weeks ago, and although there's no verifiable proof, his family seems to think the Thalmor are behind it. I regret that I have nothing else, but time is so very short. I suggest you follow up on this lead and see where it goes. Understand, I think Maven's people will be following up on all of these possibilities and may be only days behind you. Do what you can to cover your tracks, and please, find Vantis before it's too late. The Thalmor have no interest in controlling me. They wish to hurt you, and I fear what that might mean for my husband." Well, that's certainly ominous. It also inspires, I think, a sense of urgency in Ettient. So, normally, I think we'd like to have more time to think through the plan, but at this point, Ettient doesn't have a lot of time, so he's basically throwing stuff in a bag, you know, and we're getting ready to hit the trail. So I've offloaded the armor and stuff like that, those other suits of armor that we were going to keep just in case for later. We don't need to carry that weight around. Ettient is thinking right now about what's the most efficient route to take to get there. And at this point, really what he is focused on is what is the most reliable? What's going to be the most reliable route? Probably the shortest route in terms of distance would be if we were to go to Windhelm and then travel along the roads that way. However, Ettient is going to be very reluctant to take that path. Firstly, because he's never taken it before. And that means that there are potential hang-ups there that he doesn't know about, and there's a certain amount of risk. It also means that we're going to be traveling further north, which would certainly require us to bring with us heavy weather gear, which is going to be cumbersome and slow us down. So what he's elected to do at this point is he's going to go with a route that is the known quantity. He knows how long it takes him to get to Whiterun. He knows how long it's going to take him to get from Whiterun to Solitude. And he also knows that by going that route, even though it may be longer in terms of distance, it may be actually shorter in terms of time. Because we know the route, because we don't have to carry extra cold weather gear, that kind of thing. So at this point, he's playing it safe, and he's going to go with the route that he knows, even though it may be potentially longer in terms of miles. He's betting that he's going to be able to make up the difference in speed. So that is our objective here. So, as we think about the role play here, In the last episode, we talked a little bit about how we have kind of these three competing interests. We've got the work that we're doing for cway and the search for Vantis as thread number one. We've got the work that we're doing for Maven and the Thieves Guild as thread number two. And then thread number three is Etienne's personal pursuits of the whole experience with the Greybeards and the Dragonborn stuff. Obviously, anything that has to do with his own personal interests is going to drop to the bottom of the list, so that's the lowest priority. Which leaves us with the other two items, which, like it or not, are inexorably linked together. We have to do both, and we have to do both well and do them in tandem for any of this to work. So we need to keep pursuing Vantis for a lot of different reasons, but the major ones are that if we are able to rescue Vantis, we take a potential source of leverage that our enemies have over us off the table. We're you know, kind of hopefully tipping the scales back in our favor a little bit. By pursuing Vantis and actually starting to get results, we also are able to hopefully keep cway's spirits up, you know, and keep her doing what she's been doing so well so far, which is getting us information, feeding us information from inside the lodge. That's privileged information we wouldn't have access to otherwise. Now, at the same time, that, of course, our success where cway is concerned is very dependent on our ability to also keep the Thieves Guild and Maven, Blackbriar, happy. So we have to kind of work both of these angles at the same time. If we slip up in any way where Maven is concerned, if we're not keeping Maven satisfied that we're working for her and we're on her side, or if she catches wind that we're actually doing side missions in cooperation with cway, she could clamp down on cway, making her life not only miserable, but restricting her movements and making it impossible for cway to gather information. So, you know, being the mercenary and ever the pragmatist, Etienne is carefully weighing the decisions he's making right now. Now, we happen to be in a situation here where, to follow up on cway's lead, we have to make a stop in Whiterun. So that is another big factor that sets our path here. We have to go through Whiterun. But fortunately, this is along a path that we're familiar with, and it's at about the halfway point to Solitude, where we need to go for Maven anyway. So this job for the Thieves Guild gives us actually a suitable cover for doing what we need to do for cway and not having it be obvious that we're going off the beaten path. So anyway, that's the other factor, right? So we balance these kind of three competing interests, and then all of it is also weighed against this time factor that's ever present. Shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Four of them? All right, we need some high ground here. And then we've got situations like this, where we've got all these mysterious actors that we haven't clearly identified yet who are after us and are clearly hindering our ability to be truly effective. Hold still, you bastard. Damn it. See? In the reach, we would have been able to see our targets, right? Whoa, good girl. She's really effective. Oh, these damn cultists came out of nowhere. So there were 4. By the time we looped back around and got into the battle and started our ambush, I think there were only 2 left, plus a flame atronach. So she trashed them pretty good, unless there was something else helping out. The interesting thing is she didn't seem any worse for the wear. Like, normally if she's taken damage, I can tell, you know, and it doesn't appear as though she has taken any, which is kind of amazing. So she beat the snot out of those guys. Again, it's very likely the same attributes of her fighting style that help her against hag ravens probably make her more effective against mages as well. Being right up there in their face, messing up their ability to cast and interrupting them constantly. I would think would make her pretty effective. Okay, we're going to cut across here to Iverstad. And I am going to... we're going to stop at the Vilemyr Inn. Get some food to eat there real quick. Refill the water supply, and then hit the trail again. To save weight, I did bring a rather limited food supply, just kind of the bare necessities. So if we have opportunities to stop off and have something to eat other than what's coming out of our pack, that's always a bonus. It means it's just easier later, conserving what we do have. Plus, we'll re-energize the legs.
Pardon me, my lord. Would you care to hear me play my lute?
I can get you. Just let me know. Keep an eye out for wolves if you're headed up the path to High Hrothgar.
If you fancy a bit of music, let me know.
Hey, like to refill the water, please.
Of course.
All right.
A pleasant journey, my lord.
No.
If I were you, I'd keep away from the barrow on the east side of town.
No problem. I don't plan on staying around that long.
Sate that appetite.
All right. Let's see. Oh, I like the baked potatoes. Cooked beef. I'm feeling like Etienne's becoming pretty partial to the fish as well.
If you pass through again, stop by for a drink. Linley, would you mind taking care
come
of
on.
the customer, please?
Leave me alone.
No problem. You want a drink?
No.
A pleasant
Thank
journey,
you.
my lord.
All right. All right, off we go.
We don't get many visitors through here, unless they're headed up to High Hrothgar, of course.
Not this trip. I'm heading out, girl. You coming? All right. We got good travel weather. Let's take advantage of it, huh? So many beautiful things to look at, but we're always in such a hurry. Etienne's hope is that someday he won't have to be in such a hurry. That someday things will change and he'll be able to take a breath. Settle down, right? There have also been a number of questions related to Angie. Is he going to see her again? All that kind of stuff. Absolutely. Are you absolutely kidding me here? There we go. Making the world a safer place. I'm no threat. Look at this.
Come along, no more stops. We need to find our way to Soljund.
Why are we even going to a wedding?
Why are you going this direction?
Anyway.
I told you, it's the wedding of Victoria Beaches, an extremely well-connected merchant with the East Empire Company. Emperor's cousin, remember? Hopefully these gifts will put us in her good graces.
Victoria
and
Vici.
secure that import deal, and lead the way to an audience with the Emperor. Don't bother me, peasant. I've had a long journey and paid too much coin on these gifts to be late to Victoria's wedding.
Yeah, well, you might want to talk to your guide. They'd be better off paying me. Okay. I think we've established that Etienne is very interested in Angie. So, yeah, he would definitely go and visit her again, without a doubt. But again, he's also proven that he's one of these people who tends to put sort of all of his personal aspirations on hold for the sake of others or a sense of obligation that he has. I think when we originally met Etienne, we could have said that he did that because he was under duress. But I think now what we're beginning to see as he transforms, as he begins to see value in the things around him, in life in general, that his motivations for putting his own personal aspirations on hold are different now. There's a sense that he's being a lot less selfish about things, whereas before it was basically he was doing what he had to do because he was under threat. And these are all subtle changes, you know. He's slowly beginning to see the world in maybe a different way. But again, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes some time to turn the ship around, if you will. Ooh, Garm's pissed now. You shouldn't have done that. Dumb bastard. Don't you know better than to mess with Garm? All right. What's it gonna be? I'm in a hurry. I literally don't have time for your crap. Who's getting off the log? You? Me? You. Hmm? They never learn. Stash anything new over here? Look at the ebony bow. Every time I come through here, there's another bow. They just keep coming back. Ettient, I'm sure, would be speculating on what bandit group these thugs are coming from. Thinking about, you know, who in the area might have an interest in holding that crossing. Whoever they are, they seem pretty determined to hold on to that crossing. So they keep sending people, and then their people disappear, and they send more people to try and figure out what happened to them, and they disappear, and... Oh, Garm took the long way, but she's quicker. Probably hunting rabbits on the way. She does her own thing, so that's probably what's going on. Little bear. All right, so we're going to get to Whiterun. We can re-provision again if we need to. But then we're going to do a little bit of an investigation. So in cway's letter, she indicated that someone named Thalmor had been snatched. If you remember, many episodes ago, we overheard an argument in the marketplace where Thalmor's name was mentioned. And then there have been 2 or 3 occasions where we visited Yorland Greymane, and Yorland mentioned Thalmor as well. So we know which one of the powerful families of Whiterun Thalmor is associated with. So we're going to go to Whiterun and do a little bit of classic hound sleuthing to see if we can uncover some kind of a trail there that might clue us in as to where Thalmor is being held. Right now, cway's theory is that if the Thalmor are responsible for snatching up Thalmor, and they're responsible for snatching up Vantis, there's at least some chance that they're stashing all of these people in the same place. And in light of the fact that we don't have any other leads, it's probably the best thing that we have at this point. So one thing we do know about cway is that she's smart, and she's obviously very resourceful. So Ettient is just trusting in his little sister's judgment at this point. But as things heat up, as things get more intense and the stakes get higher, he's always thinking about cway and what her mental state is. You know, and just trying to be vigilant, because if at any point he sees signs that perhaps, you know, her resolve is starting to crack, or that it's becoming more than she can handle, then he's going to have to either take over some of these investigations himself, or he's going to have to question the information that he's getting from her, you know, these kinds of things, right? He's always kind of looking at that angle. Is she in a position emotionally and psychologically to be able to pass him the best possible information? Is she panicking or not? That kind of a thing. So he's always thinking about that sort of stuff. And it makes sense. We've kind of established that in certain situations, well, in general, Ettient is good at reading people, but there are certain situations, especially combat or war type situations, where he's even better at reading people. Okay, you see this? That's a mod issue. That is a conflict between Manny GT's Lanterns of Skyrim and Blowing in the Wind. So what this means is I think what I need to do is reinstall the Lanterns mod to account for Blowing in the Wind, perhaps. I'll look at that, because you can see the signs are now moving. So there's a patch for Lanterns of Skyrim associated with Blowing in the Wind that either I don't have, well, that I don't have through one of the mod installs or the other. Blowing in the Wind is something that I installed recently, and this is obviously a conflict between those two. So I'll try reinstalling each one, see which one it is, and we should be able to take care of that. Right now, what's going on is that the Jarl has basically he's requisitioned the hanging of new and improved lanterns, and the crew is going around getting a start. They've designated the new lanterns for each pole, but there's another crew that's coming around later that's going to take the other ones off. See how that works? They're on their lunch break right now, so I'm expecting them to come back around later and take care of that. See, piece of cake. Now it's part of the story. Okay, what's this foolishness? Oh, okay.
Dragons returning to the world makes me more than nervous.
Moons protect us. I hope we do not encounter one of them on the road.
All right. Let's get into Whiterun, figure out what we can find out. Wow, we made some seriously good time. Still a lot of daylight left.
Fancy yourself an alchemist?